Hey guys, it's your host Brian Preston with Mr. Bo Hansen, and here we are once again for the series hashtag Ask the Money Guy.
You guys have financial questions. We have financial answers. If you have anything you want us to talk about, go out to your favorite social platform, hit hashtag Ask the Money Guy, and we're going to be there to answer that and publish this stuff.
It's Brian Preston, the Money Guy.
Brian, we get this question a lot. Someone will reach out and say, hey, what's the next hot stock? Or what company should I be investing in? Or, where should I put my money? What's the best individual stock to buy? And so, a lot of times when you look at these companies that have done really well, some of these really important businesses, they seem similar. And so we started asking this question, do all of these world-changing businesses, all of these big names out there, have something in common that we ought to be noticing?
Yeah, the big thing I get asked, Brian, like you said, what individual stock would you look at?
Sure.
And I first tell people, let me give you a disclaimer. I don't do a lot of individual stocks, but is there a trait that makes me kind of go against my own rule in individual stocks? And here's what I came up with. Let me ask you some companies.
Okay.
We're in a Tesla, so Tesla.
All right.
What does Tesla have in common with Facebook?
Okay.
With Apple? With Amazon?
Okay.
With, I'm trying to think of who else, Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these are all companies that are changing the world. The big thing that they have going for them that I think makes them stand out is they have a visionary that is at the helm of the company.
Okay.
And I want to give you some examples. I want to give you Reed Hastings over at Netflix,
Sure.
Mark Zuckerberg over at Facebook, you got Elon Musk at Tesla, you got Jeff Bezos over at Amazon, and of course, when Steve Jobs, one of my heroes, was alive, I mean, this guy is the type that him and Steve Wozniak started Apple. Apple started having some success.
Right.
They pushed Steve Jobs out so they could bring in a more corporate type person because he was so young at the time. And Apple kind of struggled through some growing pain years there. And what does Steve Jobs do? He goes and is a visionary and does Pixar.
That's right.
And then he gets brought back into Apple, and what does he do at Apple? That's when he brings the iPod, and then he goes on a string of big hits with iPhones. I mean, just changes the way we communicate and the way we operate in the world. These are all very purpose-driven world changers. And it started making me think, what makes these guys different than everybody else? And then what the analogy I give people, you're a sports person,
Sure,
Bo.
yeah.
So think about somebody, we see linebackers, we see basketball players, that just are so good. So the linebacker who's playing football, he just somehow is able to go where the ball is before. He just knows where it's going. Same thing with hockey players. They know where the puck's going to be.
You're talking about field vision.
Yeah, it's completely field vision. There's a reason LeBron James, Michael Jordan, they're world class because they see and they process what's going on around them completely different than everybody else. I will tell you that same successful thing, field vision, that you hear people in the sports world talk about, occurs in the business world. There are people that are very driven, that are very purposeful, that they are able to process this world around them and see things a little bit differently, and it puts them to be more successful. And so what's the takeaway? What do you get when you find somebody with field vision, and what does this mean for you? I would tell you, it doesn't have to apply just to individual stocks. You could think about your whole financial life and just go, who's at the top of the food chain for what I'm looking at? You need to pay attention to who is there. And then the second thing is, be purposeful. Know the why. Is this person doing something because it's a paycheck? Are they doing something because they really believe this and this is just part of who they are as an individual? I think that purpose and that why definitely gives more direction and focus for the individual. And then the third thing is a takeaway is just to be careful about individual stocks. I like that we live in a world with all these companies that are doing great things. But the thing is as an investor, and talking about it from a financial planning standpoint, you better make sure you have your financial life in order of having a foundation of assets already working for you, that you have, diversified holdings in your retirement accounts. Those are the things you need to be focusing on before you start focusing on individual investments. We talked about order of operations, but what was the order of operations and how can they go find out about that?
Yeah, we actually just did an entire show on the financial order of operations where we walk through how you should think about deploying your army of dollar bills. So if you haven't checked that out, go out to moneyguy.com or go into YouTube, type in Money Guy order of operations, and you can see exactly how you should think about building that army of dollar bills.
Guys, I hope that you have field vision. I want you to be that field general for your army of dollar bills and have field vision for what the why is for your personal assets so that you can be successful. And if you'll do that, I think you have there's no limit to what you can accomplish. So you probably, if you're just tuning in or this is the first time you've ever had exposure to The Money Guy, I want you first to subscribe. We have great content. We have long episodes, short mini episodes, and now we have this hashtag Ask the Money Guy series. Make sure you tune in and check in with us, because our goal is to watch you become as successful as possible. We call it the abundance cycle. And this is our gift to you. And you might ask, well, what's the catch? The catch is, after you've applied these concepts and become so successful, you will come back to us. When you need a co-pilot in your car, your Tesla, and you want to have somebody look over your shoulders and look at your finances, that's where I want you to think of us and Abound Wealth and The Money Guy Show. We're going to be that resource. So once again, hashtag Ask the Money Guy. Make sure you subscribe. I'm your host, Brian Preston, with Mr. Bo Hansen. We'll talk to you soon.